Hello and welcome back to episode 23. New year, still the same KoRail, still the same challenge, and trying to bring them still towards the Tour de France. Hope everyone had a good change of year and a fantastic Christmas. Let's quickly get into this episode with some fantastic races and exciting times ahead as well. Starting off here with the Tour of Bulgaria, a 6-day stage race with some hilly stages here and there, but all of them ending up in a sprint. So we just need to get across these mountains and get towards that finish line, and then we should be all good. Next up, we have the Lloyd Banks Tour of Britain, another 6 stages here for us. This time a 2-point pro race, so a lot of pro teams here included in this race as well. And we just need to survive here and hope we can get a good result. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. The third stage, however, is a mountainous stage, and that will be a difficult one. Let's try and survive, shall we? Next up, we have a Chinese one-day race, the Tour of Binzhao. Not that long, 112 kilometers, very, very flat, so this should be great for our sprinters. And yeah, those are the 3 races of today. Especially the Tour of Britain will be an exciting one here with a 2-point pro race up ahead. Let's quickly start it off here with the first stage of the Tour of Bulgaria. Some mountain points here, but Heyo Songsu, or surprisingly I should say, in the top 2 favorites here in this race. And you must wonder, wow, how is he one of the top favorites in this race? Well, let's quickly get into this stage and I will show you why. In this hilly mountain stage with 4 in-between mountain points and yeah, only still 200 kilometers, so it is quite a long one.
Hello and welcome. It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining, and of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
So yeah, Songsu Heyo, one of the favorites here in today's race. Because we only have 17 riders here in this peloton, that means that we should be able to get some good results here in this Tour of Bulgaria. A 1.2 race with a full Korean squad. You see here also Jae Hwan-jun, our mountain specialist here, with us for that third stage. I think the stage that will determine the results of this race for sure. So he is here for that reason, and obviously we will try and win some of these stages with the remainder of our riders, try and get our Korean riders some additional bonus points here, some UCI points that they are desperately needing, and maybe some victories and second places, etc, etc. Onto this first in-between mountain point here. Jae Hwan-jun, obviously our mountain specialist, and I want him to get that mountain jersey as well. Getting ahead of this line here as first, or getting across the line here as first. Fantastic job here by Jae Hwan-jun. 2 bonus points here for him, 2 mountain points here for him. So a good start of the race here for Jae Hwan-jun. Now onto this second in-between mountain point. Again, Jae Hwan-jun up in front. There's no one really challenging him here in this mountain section. So once again, he gets across the line as first. 5 points now in the best climber classification, and I'm quite certain that he cannot really be beat there anymore, so let's just skip towards the end. The red jersey, or the climber's jersey here, is for Jae Hwan-jun, and I'm certain that it is. Starting up our sprint train now, you see we are quite, in the front, as we should be. Heyo here with our final sprint, as he is the second favorite of this race, so I'm hoping that he will show his favoritism, basically, or show how good he is. We hope, but I do not manage to sprint very well, I have to say. Plenty of riders remaining. I should have used up their energy a lot earlier. 3 kilometers left, 4 riders basically up to the front. Kim Sung-bum here not using much of his energy. A lot of these other riders already sprinting, 1.5 kilometers remaining. I really mess up this sprint here. Should have done this way earlier. 1 kilometer, I kind of sprint with everyone. Whoever gets to the line first can have it, in my opinion. And it sadly is not one of KoRail's riders. It is just 9 riders left here in this front group. The German rider here winning the first stage here in the Tour of Bulgaria. But we do get a second and third place here in this first stage, so not too horrible here for our team. Again, a very small amount of riders here in the peloton, so we should be able to do well here in this race. I would have hoped Heyo to do a little bit better here in this race, but a 7th place for him, second and third here for the rest of our team. So we are doing very well in the team classification, but in the general classification, we are on the 2nd and 3rd place. 5 races left to go though, so plenty of opportunities here for us to improve, show that we can win some of these races and do well. And here is one of the mountain races, or one of the hill races I should say, of this stage of this tour.
It's an undulating route, so it will be a tactical race. We should have sun along the whole length of the route.
So a sunny day here for us today. 3 in between mountain points, or in between mountain areas to get points in, and obviously I want to get those points here with Jae-Won-Jun. I don't think it will be worth it to jump away here and try to form a breakaway. Again, a very small peloton. They won't let us escape, if we do, I don't think there's much of a chance for us to really get anywhere. So what we will do is stay in the peloton and wait it out here towards the end. And as you can see here, we are a little bit less than 8 kilometers remaining from the finish line. Jae-Won-Jun getting across the 3rd mountain point here as first. 22 mountain points here now in this classification in the Tour of Bulgaria. So I don't think there's a whole lot of chances here for anyone else to pass him in the coming stages, but we'll defend it in the meantime. What you see here, however, is a yellow jersey, the leader of the general classification, falling behind here with 30 seconds. I have no idea why or how it happened. They seemed to be caught out here, and now it is quite a downhill section, so I'm just pushing here with Jae-Won-Jun, trying to get him in the ultimate position where possible. A little bit less than a kilometer remaining, so I sprint with everyone. You see how much of a mess it is, but you know, I just want to see if I can win this sprint, and I can. Jae-Won-Jun in a fantastic position here in the Tour of Bulgaria, winning the 2nd stage here in this fun little tour with 17 riders. The yellow jersey 26 seconds behind. He really got caught off guard. And another top podium, or another podium place here, I should say, for Jiwon Hong. So fantastic job here by him. Won-Jun Jae, our mountain specialist, winning the 2nd stage of the Tour of Bulgaria, getting some bonus seconds as well. I'm hoping it will propel him into the top position here of the general classification. It should, with the yellow jersey falling a couple of seconds behind. As you can see here, 27 seconds behind here is the German rider here, is the yellow jersey that we had. So that should move us up quite a bit and should move our riders into a perfect position, and it does. Hong Ji-won actually the leader in the general classification. Jae-Won-Jun now in 2nd place, moving down Yon a little bit, still in 3rd place, a top 3 position here for us. So a really good start here of this Tour of Bulgaria. I don't think we can do a lot to improve. All we need to do here is keep these podium places in our team and gather as many points while doing so, I should say. Gather as many UCI points while doing so. So top 3 here for us. Great start here of the Tour of Bulgaria. Let's see what we can do here in this 3rd stage. Again, another hilly stage. A lot of mountain points to be had here, although Jae-Won-Jun is first in the general climbers classification.
It's an undulating route, so it will be a tactical race.
And while I am recording this, I'm still recovering from quite a nasty cough. So if you have some weird cuts here in this episode, it is what it is, to be honest. It's still me struggling with an annoying cough that I just cannot seem to get rid of for a little bit. It's my weak lungs. As you can see here, Hong in the yellow jersey, great job here by him. Jae-Won-Jun in the mountain jersey, as he is first, with a commanding lead, to be honest. Easy mountain points here up for grabs in this first little section, and I'm sure that we've gotten as many as possible, so Jae-Won-Jun probably extending his lead here, and I push very hard here in this final mountain section. As you can see here, still less than 10 kilometers remaining, and Won-Jun Jae 37 points, extending his lead by 15 points. So again, not much of a chance for other teams to really gain on him, which is excellently done here by Jae-Won-Jun. Fantastic. 7 kilometers remaining. I am still pushing as hard as I possibly can here with our riders, trying to get a bit of a gap here, trying to break apart the peloton where possible, and trying to put pressure on the other riders if I can. It will be a downhill finish, so positioning will be important, which means we just need to be up front. We just need to be positioned properly. Less than 5 kilometers remaining. I should have used the energy gels here, but I was too focused on the group that is falling behind. You see here the green jersey falling behind with about 30 seconds as well, so that sounds great for us. Downhill section now, pushing as hard as we can to try and increase that gap and try to make sure that we are positioned as well as possible. I don't think there is anyone that will be able to pass us as long as we do a sprint right here. You see me sprinting relatively early as it is a downhill sprint. Positioning here is vital. Lloyd looking fantastic. Heyo here getting on the inside. Will he get across Lloyd? No, he does not. A 1 and 2 here in the third stage of Bulgaria for our team. I expected Juan Junche to be a little bit better positioned here for us, to be a bit more upfront, as he is a better downhill specialist as well, or is better in the downhill section as well. But Lloyd here getting across the line as first. A fantastic result here for G1 Lloyd. Heo Sangsu as second as well, so his sprinting capabilities peeking out there towards the end here for our two riders. Fantastic job by them, moving up Lloyd and Heo Sangsu by quite a lot. Heo now in 4th position with a 10-second deficit to Lloyd. In 2nd and 3rd place are Hong Ji-won and Jae Won-jun. Great job here by Lloyd, conquering that yellow jersey here in the 3rd stage of the Tour of Bulgaria. Plenty of mountain points here for us. We also occupy obviously the top 4 in the Young Riders classification, and somehow we are 2nd in the team classification. I am not entirely sure. Anyway, let's quickly move on to the 4th stage of the Tour of Bulgaria. Let's see if we can take that first position in the team classification in this stage.
The route is fairly hilly, so there should be plenty of action.
A very short introduction here by the commentator. Indeed, a very hilly course today. 3 in between mountain points at the beginning, and the big one there at the end. Again, no uphill finish, so that means that we just need to push on that final mountain. That will be our goal of today. Push that final mountain, see if we can break apart the peloton, see if we can get Jae Won-jun all the way up front and basically secure his victory in the downhill descent. On to that last point, again, the initial mountain points don't really matter for us anymore, as Jae Won-jun is the leader in the climber classification, and he has that incredible lead in that classification, so these other points don't really matter that much. This number 1 classified mountain, however, is what is important for us, and I have to put Kim Sung-bom up front here to push the others here up this hill, hoping to move others and try to break apart the peloton where possible. As you can see here, less than a kilometer remaining for this mountain, for the top of this mountain, and we just keep pushing on. The rest of our team is suffering. You see them breaking apart. I hope the rest of the peloton is also breaking apart, and we reach over the top of the mountain and start sprinting, and for that downhill, try to make sure that we gain as much of an advantage on the rest as possible. Sadly, the peloton did not break apart. That means that we didn't really succeed as much as possible. Our positioning so far is fantastic. Our entire team here is in a long sprint train. 4 kilometers remaining. Again, just a downhill stretch. So all we need to do here is stay up front. We don't have any water left, but that should all be okay here. With 3 kilometers remaining, ooh, a bunch of sprinters here already, and that means that we kind of, I don't want to sprint yet. I just want to catch up to them. I don't do a great job here, though. 1 kilometer remaining. These other sprinters are quite far ahead. It was not able for us to get back onto the wheel of these guys, and Heo here in a 3rd position, getting caught out here at the last moment. We were in such a good position, and sadly getting caught out here. Making sure that we only get across the line here as 3rd. A disappointing 4th stage here in the Tour of Bulgaria. Lloyd still in 1st place, still a top 4 for the team. Heo securing his place a little bit more, 10 seconds now towards the number 5. So we are in a pretty good spot here with that top 4 positioning in our team, and all we need to do is just defend it. Not the best stage for us, however. We could have basically increased our lead as much as possible here, and we failed at that. Let's see if we can maintain or increase that lead in the 5th stage. 2 stages left to go. Let's see if we can win this race.
It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining, and of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
And we are definitely not those opportunists with a bit of daring. We want to make sure that we do a good sprint there towards the end. Again, a 10-second lead on the number 5. A, 16-second lead on the number 5 for Lloyd. So he is in a pretty good position. And we're starting this stage off with a hill. It's going to be quite a serious hill, I would say. And afterwards, it's going to just eke down. That's our time to recover. and we just have to make sure that in this little, it's not really an uphill finish, but the end of the stage is going slightly uphill and then flattens out. So we need to make sure that we are well positioned there for that final sprint. And a little bit over 7 kilometers to go, we are shaping up and getting ready for that final sprint. The commentator would say it would end up in a mass sprint, and he would be correct once again. Kim Sung-bom on top now, trying to push here in this slight uphill section of this race, hoping that I could tire out any of the other riders at this pace, but they seem to be stuck on the wheels of our riders, where they have their own sprint trains going as well, so not much of a chance there for us. Again, plenty of riders remaining. I'm trying to pop all the energy cells left. Less than 3 kilometers remaining now, or a little bit over 3 kilometers remaining there, sorry. And we're heading into this slightly curvy section with some corners here and there, and that's always a little bit tricky. Still slightly uphill here, pushing Hong as much as we can. Others are sprinting rather early. I should have sprinted early here with Yon as well, but I was too late here. A late sprint here with our riders. Can we get at least another podium here with our team? It does not look like it. Again, the 2 riders here in front. Not even a podium position here for our team. Not another good race here for us, a terrible race here for us once again. Yu and Kim Sung-bom also ending up later on in this race, so not great. And the Filipino rider here moving all the way up to 2nd place. Congratulations to him, moving 4 members of our team, or 3 members of our team, down into 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Not the best result here for us once again. We keep kind of botching these races. We keep botching these sprints. Maybe I was not focused during this race. Maybe I was not paying proper attention. I keep messing these up. And that means at least Yon is still in 1st place. And we have 3 contenders for that 1st place if we don't mess up the final sprint here in this last stage of the Tour of Bulgaria.
Hello and welcome. Well, today we're in for a great mountain stage. The race will take place under a bright sun.
A great mountain stage, it is being said here by the commentator. Again, a haute classification for this mountain, but I don't think there will be a breakaway here once again. We want to get Jae Hwan-jun those mountain points and maybe push on here and that final mountain as well to try and break the peloton apart once again. Hopefully be able to do so here with Jae Hwan-jun. That is what we're aiming for. If we don't get a big lead here with these riders, maybe Jae Hwan-jun will be able to do something. Here now on this large mountain, 6 kilometers to go, and you see here a little group of a breakaway is away here. 2 of the riders here up front. Jae Hwan-jun joining them now. The rest of the peloton chasing behind, pushing as hard as they can to try and catch up with us. And I want to keep pushing on here with Jae Hwan-jun. Try to make sure that the gap does not decrease, even though it is slightly surely but slowly decreasing, and our lead is becoming less and less. That means I wasted a lot of energy here with Jae Hwan-jun, and that means that if I didn't do this, the rest of our team would never catch up here towards this front race. So I had to push here with our team. I had to move forward here. I had to get into a position that would be beneficial here for our team. Another rider here sprinting away. I do not understand how they have so much energy here in this last section of this mountain. I'm sending out Jae Hwan-jun once again to try and catch up with this rider who has a 20-second lead. He very nicely and quickly breaks away from the main peloton and catches up to the rider in front, making sure that there is no breakaway here now in this race. Jae Hwan-jun here now in the group of 6 riders. He is not a sprinter, however, and that means that with this downhill section, it's basically him versus 5 other riders. The 5 other riders here having teammates. Jae Hwan-jun has 0 teammates. Get another breakaway here, and Jae Hwan-jun has to close this gap. The rest of these riders won't do it. They are teammates of themselves, so they will definitely not try and breach or break over and try to get this gap. Again, he gets surprised here in this final sprint. The chance for a podium position here gone with the wind. Jae Hwan-jun losing out here in this race, a 4th place in the final stage. The rest of her team so far behind will definitely lose out on their top podium positions. It was looking so good earlier in this race. It was looking so good in the other stages. We were in those top 4 positions with our team. And what happens here in the end? A 4th place in the stage for Jae Hwan-jun, 11 seconds behind the number 1, Heo Sung-soo, finishing a little bit behind him, and Jae Hwan-jun ending up in 4th place in the general classification. classification as well. So a failure here in the end by our team. We are getting taught that, you know, the previous 5 stages here meant nothing for us. We should have increased our lead. We should have done better in those final sprints. We should have done better here in this mountain stage. Should have never let that group of 2 riders get away. Should have never pushed that hard on the hill, breaking apart the rest of our team while the other 2 teams had riders remaining. So a failure here by KoRail in the Tour of Bulgaria. In the end, Jaewon Jun here with a 4th place, Heo Sung-soo with a 6th. Let's see if we can redeem ourselves here, however, in the Lloyd Banks Tour of Britain, the 2-point pro race, a very tough race, which honestly, initially, I did not notice or think about. I was not very much paying attention to the people in this race, but as you can see here, we are in the top 10 with 2 riders.
The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton.
A fast pace indeed, 3 in between sprint points with bonus seconds, but what we want here is a good general classification in this race, in this 2-point pro tour. That is what we are going to aim for. Immediately 3 riders break away here from the pack. We get left in the dust. I wish I could have sent anyone else out here to catch up to these riders, but they are already 25 seconds away, and I know that if I send someone out now, they will definitely end up in the middle of nowhere. So not ideal here for our riders, and that means no in-between sprint points here for us. So that means we're heading towards the finals, 6 kilometers here of this stage. We are in front here with our sprint train. You see here to our right the sprint train of Jumbo-Visma, and to the left the sprint train of Picnic PostNL, with plenty of good sprinters and plenty of good riders here in this race. Trying to make sure that we get towards the front as much as possible, extending or removing as much energy from our riders as possible, trying to get here as quickly as possible. But again, not a great race or not a great sprint here from me. I have too many riders remaining. You see the sprint trains of the others also going quite well. Christoph Kroll losing the wheel of Severy Savakovsky. But who is that there up front? It's Ocean Verity. It's Asian Verity here in 2nd place in this race. What an unexpected 2nd place here by Asian Verity. An amazing job here by him. Great job by our Irish rider, beating out the likes of Olaf Kooij and Paul Magnier. A fantastic job here by him. 2nd place here, as you can see. An 8th place for our Finnish rider. And that is about it for the top 10 of this race. Plenty of points here, thanks to that 2nd place here for Asian Verity as well. And that means we are in the 2nd place here, currently in the Young Riders classification as well. Really good rider here, this Norwegian rider, if I'm correct. Eking out here, winning instead of the many favorites that are in this race. A great job here by our Norwegian rider, and of course a visibility of 10, showing off that KoRail, who, let's be honest here, normally would never belong in a 2-point pro race, is able to show their colors and show what they have in store with a 2nd place. Let's quickly go on to stage number 2. Obviously, another flat stage here, relatively flat, so it will definitely end up in a sprint.
The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton.
Asian Verity in that Young Riders jersey. I think it's Young Riders jersey, maybe it's a sprint jersey. Either way, great job here by him. 3 in between sprint points, 2 little mountain points as well. It is one of the more flat stages, and I would love to end up doing a good sprint in the end with our Finnish rider and our Czech rider, making sure that they get some points on the board as well. They are our best chances for a good result here in this race, mostly because I did not remember that the Tour of Britain is quite hilly, so the main general classification will most likely be determined on the hill stages by our hill riders. And as you can see here, no Paul Fitzke, no Jaewon Jun. So it is a flat race riders, and that means that we have to perform here in these flat stages, and we have to take victories and podium places in these flat stages. We're heading now towards the end of this stage, 7 kilometers left to go. You see we're really pushing hard here in this little uphill, trying to break apart the peloton even further. There is already a little group broken off here with a minute behind us, so the more the merrier. Maybe I can get some of the top sprinters off of this peloton. That would be great, but everyone seems to be sticking on. These are top riders, so I'm not too surprised honestly that these these riders here are sticking it out. And now are the sprint trains on the head of the peloton, including ours. Obviously, we want to get our riders up towards the front. Like I just said, we want to win these stages. We want to get these bonus seconds. We'll need them. However, look at that sprint train blasting away from us. Nothing that we can do about it. A very poor sprint from our side. KoRail indeed not even getting past Savakovsky, his lead out. So no chances here for us. A top 8 here with us. 2 people in the top 10. And that is about it. So not great here for our team. No podium position here, no additional bonus seconds for us. Just 2 people in the top 10 position. That means that Asian Ferretti moves down 2 places. Severy Savakovsky moving up 2 places, however. So still 2 people here in the top 10. A lot of people actually dropping out of that top 10 here now that I'm looking at it. So they must have been in that second group. Paul Magnier in first place, the French rider, the very talented French rider, which I would have loved to sign for our team as well, but sadly he had no interest in joining. Boo, sad, but it is what it is. KoRail Christoph also moving up a ton of places now in 13th. So it's looking quite decent for our team. 2 people in a top 10 position in general classification. Plenty of races left to go, however, so you know, we just need to make sure that we maintain these positions and stick it out. Even though there's still a hill stage up and coming, and there's plenty of good riders here that are just waiting out their time to shine. Any visibility and any points and any good positions that we can get is good for the team, especially in this 2-point per race. Now let's quickly head on to that third stage, which is another hill stage actually, and this is the stage where I think the difference will be made. Again, you see the names here in this top 10. None of ours are there, but a Jonas Vingegaard is there, an Remco Evenepoel, and many other top riders. Can we do a miraculous job here in this third stage and beat them? We'll have to find out here in this stage. Again, no hill climbers, so I doubt it, but we can do our best. It's officially considered just a hilly stage, not a mountain stage, so that gives me a little bit of hope. Is it false hope? Can we do anything here in this tour, in this third stage of the Lloyd Banks Tour of Britain? We'll have to see and find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. The route is fairly hilly, so there should be plenty of action.
Indeed, fairly hilly, beautiful jersey there for Asian Ferretti in that red jersey here on the front row. Great job here by him so far in this tour. At least 1 second place for us so far. Not a great result in the previous stage. Really got caught out there on that sprint train. But this is the stage, this third stage is the stage which will really make a difference for us, and where we need to be careful how and what we'll do. I would have loved to send someone out. You see me trying to attack here with Joseph Turnbull, but there's already 2 groups out ahead, already 1 minute of a gap on the peloton as well, and I'm sending out Joseph here, who very quickly gets a gap towards the peloton or on the peloton. But again, the 2 groups in front already are so far ahead, and they will start to work together and make sure that we do not get there, sadly. Plenty of teammates ahead up front as well, or the front group has plenty of teammates in that group, so they will work together and make sure that we do not get there, which means that we are dependent here on this final area of the stage, this uphill area here, where we need to try and stick together. We need to stay up front here in this race, try and survive 5 kilometers of climbing here, and I wish I had any of our climbers here in this race. This will be where the general classification is made, and this will be where we suffer. Plenty of amazing riders here in this tour, plenty of climbers here in this tour. You already saw at the beginning of the tour, it's Remco Evenepoel and Jonas Vingegaard. 2 incredible riders here that will easily beat any of our riders here in this stage, and all I can do is hope that I can stay with these riders. You see our sprinter is already out of energy, and we still have 3 kilometers to go. Joseph is actually doing rather well here in this stage. KoRail is just trying to stick onto the wheel of anyone that we can, and as you can see here, everyone has to do whatever they want. It's each on their own. All I can try is to keep Joseph here up front as much as possible to stay here with these elite riders. 1 kilometer to go. I'm doing better than I expected, to be honest, but there's no chance for me to really get up front here. No chance for me to beat out any of these riders. All I can do is stick here in this peloton. You see it slowly but surely breaking apart. People are falling off the back, but all I can do here is make sure that we try and cross the line in as big of a group as possible. Make sure that we don't lose any time here on the front riders. Joseph actually finishing as 47th. The rest of our riders a little bit behind. Savakovsky, not a climber, and minus statistics, finishing the last of our team, which is a little bit disappointing. And as you can see here in the general classification, every single person except for Joseph Turnbull dropping down here in the general classification. On top is Jonas Vingegaard, obviously doing a fantastic job here in this race, beating out all of our riders as well and creating such a big gap towards the rest of us. No one able to really get close to him. Except for, I guess, Joseph Turnbull, who ended up in 47th position. Currently now in 34th with a 45-second gap towards first place. So no chance really for us to get very far up front. Maybe we can win a couple of sprints. There's still 3 stages left, so any sprint that we can win, any bonus seconds that we can get, would move us up towards a top 10 position. Maybe even towards that number 1 position, but that means that we need to win every sprint from now on and gain a lot of bonus seconds.
Today's terrain is fairly level, so it's ideal ground for those who are good on the flat.
Exactly, so for sure it will be a mass sprint finish here once again. Again, I want to do well here in this general classification. That is what we're aiming for, but this stage is wild. You see a little bit of interesting. I haven't heard that name before in this game, so that's cool that he's there. Anyway, you see towards the end of this stage, there's a little uphill section, and then it flattens out once again. So that means we need to be in a good position here in this uphill section, and that is what we are aiming for. You see...
Which will most likely end up
exactly, commentator. It will definitely end up in a mass sprint. You see our train here is leading the pack, and that is where we want to be. There is a little downhill section here that we want to be first in, and then an uphill section where I'll push as hard as possible, so I end up first in that flat section towards the end. It should be around 1 to maximum of 2 kilometers left when we reach that section, and if we are there in a top position, we should be able to sprint immediately and hopefully beat out any of the top riders. That is what we are aiming for. Maybe even beat out a Jonas Vingegaard. That would be incredible. And as you can see here, this is the section that goes upwards 9% all the way towards the finish line. 2 kilometers left to go. We are still in that section that is going upwards. It's flattening out, however, and this is the flat section 1 kilometer in front of the finish. Sprinting here with everyone that we have. We don't want to sprint too early. A little bit of a flex here in this corner. We are perfectly positioned. We are incredibly well up front, and that means a top 3 here by KoRail in the Tour of Britain. An incredible performance here by the team, an unexpected performance by the team. What an amazing job here also by Severin Savakovsky, not doing very well in the previous stage, really not fighting for that top position or for that top 10 position here in the general classification, but a victory in the Tour of Britain is something to be proud of. He has the same amount of victories in this tour this year as Jonas Vingegaard, so that is definitely something to be proud of here by our Finnish rider. A top 3 here, that is all KoRail, something that is definitely unexpected. Additional bonus seconds here for Joseph as well, which should mean that he moves up in the general classification. I think at around, what is it, 8 bonus seconds here for Joseph Turnbull, which means that he should be moving upwards in the general classification as well. The rest of our team all finishing around the same time here. Kim Hyun-sok moving back about 2 minutes because he was just absolutely exhausted in that last hill, and that is totally okay. He pushed hard enough to get our team all the way up to front, resulting in a top 3 with our team. So an amazing job here, incredible result here by KoRail. You saw here Joseph Turnbull moving up 19 positions all the way to 15th, suddenly 32 seconds of a gap towards Samuel Watson, who actually gapped Jonas Vingegaard somewhere in this race as well, or got some bonus seconds in this race and made sure that he is now past Jonas Vingegaard. So the British rider actually eking out on the top on the Tour de France winner. So great job here by this British rider. Another British rider doing incredible is Joseph Turnbull here in the Lloyd's Banks Tour of Britain. Let's see if he can continue his streak, get some additional bonus seconds, and move up even further. Again, this 5th stage, hilly as hell. A little bit of a peak here towards the end, and then it flattens out, so maybe we can get a good position here once again.
It's going to be a monotonous day when it comes to the terrain, but at least the teams with sprinters won't be complaining. And, of course, those opportunists with a bit of daring won't make their life easy.
And we are definitely not those opportunities. We just want to get those bonus seconds towards the end. We want to get that good result towards the end. I'm sending out Kim Hyun-suk to try and get any bonus seconds and any bonus points possible. But let's be honest here, that is not the goal for us. It is not what we want to go for. You already see that the cooperation of this group, not the best. They don't really want to work together with a Kim Hyun-suk. And Kim Hyun-suk already exhausted as well. This tour is a slightly too high level for him, but he tries his best, and that is something that we can always appreciate. In the meantime, we'll defend our riders. We want to get another great position here with Joseph Turnbull, with Severi Savkovsky. Asian Fedeti is actually in fantastic condition today, so I don't want to exhaust him by defending some of these riders. I want him in reserve as well to sprint towards the end, and maybe we can get some good results here with our riders here in this stage. Once again, we need to perform here with our sprinters. That is what we are aiming for. That is why we brought this team. There was no chance in the mountain section. And talking about a mountain section, here is the uphill section of this race. 6 kilometers left to go here in this stage. 5 kilometers actually. Thank you, commentator. And that means we need to push here in this section to try and break apart some of the peloton, or try to break apart some of the sprinters that are maybe in the back and might struggle here to get across this hill. That is what we are aiming for. Joseph Turnbull here now up front. I should have kept him here more towards the back, but I wanted him to be positioned properly here. With 2 kilometers left to go, you see the 1 kilometer line right there. We are sprinting with everyone, trying to get up front here. Severi Savkovsky being blocked here by some of the Picnic Postinel riders, and he gets across the line here with another podium position. Yes, another 3rd position here, finishing in front of Olaf Kooij. An incredible job here by Severi Savkovsky. Maybe not the best idea here for our general classification matters, with Joseph Turnbull finishing a bit in the back here of this race. See here in the 34th position. I don't think this will move him up anything here in the general classification, but Severi Savkovsky with another podium position, something that we can be very, very proud of here in this race. A great job here by our team. Joseph actually moving up another position here, so 14th now in the general classification. Still 1 stage left to go. Again, I don't think I can get towards a top 5 position, but maybe a top 10 would be possible here in this race. Great job here by Severi Savkovsky. Another podium position here for him, doing incredibly well here in this race. Finally in shape here actually, finally showing that he can win these stages and can perform at this level. It took him a couple of stages to get used to the terrain and to the effort that he needed to do, but now he's warmed up and now he's ready to show the other riders in the Tour of Britain what he has and what he can do. So great job by our Finnish rider here. Let's see what we can do here in this last and final race of the Lloyd Bank Tour of Britain. Another very flat race with a little bit of downhill sections toward the end.
The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton.
Again, another flat race here, another fast race for sure. I'm sure there will be another breakaway here that we won't be a part of. We are very boxed in here in this peloton, so not much of a chance. You see me again trying to send out Kim Hyun-suk, trying to do anything with him. But yeah, this race is just too high of a tempo, and the people that do break away will never let him join up. So I will just defend our sprinters who are further in the back of this peloton, make sure they are safe and ready towards his final section. Again, the last section is a bit hilly, so I'm hoping that he is able, or they are able, to break some of the sprinters and make sure that they finish a little bit later on here in this race. Kim Hyun-suk actually making it towards the breakaway, so congratulations to him. Great job by him here in this race. Now towards this final section, you see here Kim Hyun-suk tried to give it his all. He got quite far, but 30 kilometers before the end of this race, he got caught out of energy, out of anything that he can do. So he will definitely fall through the peloton and finish much later. In the end, we also caught up with the other riders, and you see here now a gap towards the green jersey and a bunch of other riders as well, as the peloton is slowly but surely breaking apart. You see how tough it is for our riders as well. A little bit of a hill section. You see that we pushed real hard to try and get some impact here on the remaining riders, try to get an impact on some of these sprinters, but the sprint trains are going and we are trying to push on and try to get towards the front, although the other sprint trains already seem that like they're sprinting and getting ahead of us. So we need to be careful here and try to not lose any positions here towards the end of this race. Still 2 kilometers left to go. I do a very early sprint here with Turnbull. It is way too early. Savakovsky trying to sprint from 1 kilometer, but his positioning is a bit poor. He got a little bit blocked here by one of the riders of X Mobility, but he does get across the line here as first. Another victory here for our Finnish rider in the Tour of Britain. What an incredible result here for Savakovsky. 2 victories and a 3rd place. What an amazing race here for Savakovsky. I don't think this will do anything amazing for his general classification, but it doesn't matter. Podium positions, victory here in a 2-point pro race. Something to be very proud of, especially with all of these top names here in this race. Some of the best riders in the entire world were in this race, including some of the top sprinters in the world as well. And here on the top step on the podium is Savakovsky in 2 of these races, so an incredible job here by him. The British rider Samuel wins the Lloyd Bank Tour of Britain, so congratulations to him, beating out a Tour de France winner in this tour. So great job by him. A big congratulations to that British rider winning this British Tour. Great job by him. No green jersey for us either, which is sad. I was hoping that 70 would do it. Oh, sorry, no, we do get the points classification. The previous jersey was for the mountain classification. That is just my silliness, not being able to see things correctly. But we do win the points classification. An incredible job here by Savakovsky. A jersey here in this 2-point pro tour, and 2 victories and a podium place. Incredible job here by our rider. Well done by Savakovsky, our Finnish legend, doing extremely well, beating out KoRail Christoph once again. We'll probably have a good result here for the points that he has received, and also the statistics of him in comparison to KoRail Christoph. So great job here today by our Finnish rider, moving up 5 positions all the way up to 53rd. So, you know, getting some additional positions here as well. Great job here by him. Kim Yon-sok being second to last here in this race. Poor from him. Joseph Turnbull actually moving up all the way to 13th as well, so almost a top 10 position by him. First in the points classification by Savakovsky, a 5th place in the young riders classification by Joseph Turnbull. A pretty good job here by him. And in the end, a 13th position in the general classification. I wish I was able to get towards that top 10 position, but we were just slightly too far off to get anywhere close to it. So I'm pretty satisfied with how we did there in the end. Again, Paul Meunier, the French rider here, doing an incredible job. Next season also riding for Groupama FDG. So another great team here for the French rider. I wish I was in negotiation with him. Tried to get him over to our team, but sadly failed. So no Paul Meunier, sadly, for us in the next season in our team. But plenty of other riders that you can look forward to as we're heading closer towards the final season, or the final races of this season. Next up, the Tour of Bulgaria.
Hello and welcome. The profile of this race is quite flat. Expect a fast pace from the peloton. The road is wet. The riders will have to be careful to avoid falls.
A big difference here with this one-day stage race, a 2.2 race as well. So nothing too spectacular here in that sense. We just want to do well here in this little race and try to see what we can do here. It's a very similar team to what we rode also with in the Lloyd Banks Tour of Britain, and we want to be the winner here in this tour. We showed that we can win stages in a 2-point pro tour. We should be able to win this little 1.2 stage as well. We have KoRail Christoph here in this race, and Savakovsky, 2 of our main sprinters. Sadly, our Czech rider is not in the best condition, so I send him in the breakaway to try and, you know, get towards the front. If he can make it all the way in the breakaway towards the end, that would be pretty good for him, and he would be able to beat them out. If not, then we have our Finnish legend that will be able to beat the rest, I hope. Here now in the last 6 kilometers of this race, I don't know why there's a little mountain thingy in 3 kilometers, but I'm sure that's a mistake. Anyway, we are having our sprint train here up front, making sure that we are prepared and getting ready to do a final sprint here towards the end. Energy gels are going, making sure that we are leading out properly. Karl Christoph now part of that lead out train. He expended a bunch of energy trying to be in the breakaway, but in the end the breakaway obviously filled. So we are just trying to make sure that we get as good of a position here as possible. Less than 2 kilometers remaining. I'm starting the sprint here with our riders. Ferretti being the lead out man here for Severy Savakovsky. Big sprint here with a little bit less than a kilometer to go, and Severy Savakovsky using his super boosters, basically sprinting here all the way towards the front, and an easy victory here for Severy Savakovsky. A 3rd place for Asian Ferretti after his 2 wins in the Lloyd's Bank Tour of Britain. And a 3rd place, he wins the Tour of Binzau. An incredible job here by Severy Savakovsky, really proving how good of a sprinter he is. A 3rd place here for Asian Ferretti, who is also having a cracker of a season, to be honest. Really doing well, scoring points here in stages, scoring points and winning races that he really should not, and doing really well, even though his performance or his overall statistics were lowered at the beginning of this season. He was predicted to be around a 5-star rider or 4.5-star rider, and in the end it was lowered all the way to 3, so I was not having high hopes for him, but he's doing incredibly well here, our Irish rider. We're also winning the team classification, so I think a good reward here for the end of this episode. Winning the last stage and winning the last race here of this episode as well. Not doing as well in the Bulgarian Tour, and not doing as well in the general classification of the Tour of Britain, but getting those wins and getting those points here is still pretty good. In the end, we're almost at 4,700 points, one off that, and you see here now the list has expanded with those wins by Hong and Yon, doing better in the Tour of Bulgaria, getting some points there as well. And as you can see here, Severy Savakovsky having a gap here towards Christoph Král, doing an incredible job here, beating him quite easily, moving on towards Paul Fitzke, who again was not part of any races in this episode. He has a bit of a performance dip at this moment, and he needs some rest to, make sure that he is ready for the races that are yet to come. Asian Ferretti also getting some good points here, almost beating Jae Honjun and getting closer towards that top 3 position. But in the meantime, it is Paul Fitzke still ready and heady on top. Christoph Král now in 3rd place, and Severy Savakovsky in 2nd. I should really redo the lines so they also equal the positions that they are in. I'll do that for the next episode. Joseph Turnbull, as you can see here, also getting some additional points. So great job here by our riders, and some of our riders finally on the board, in the sense of Hong Ji-won finally getting some points and finally being on the board. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to our team. I wish we did a little bit better, but we cannot always win everything and be the best at everything that we do. So a good learning performance, a good performance by our team, a good learning performance by our team as well, making sure that we are ready for the next 2 Point Pro race. That was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you again for watching. Sorry for maybe the sporadic cuts or my poor voice. Again, I still have an annoying cough, and I managed to finally voice record everything, which I'm happy with. But the quality might not be as good this time. I'm hoping to get back on track with a video recording, but as long as I have this cough, it is a bit annoying to do so. Hope you guys didn't get bothered by it too much. And that is it for now. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hope to see you in the next one as well. Goodbye.